as Doug will continue and others, and you begin to ask questions if you have them, there is a way for this commission to explore this option. We have discussed it at great length. We've had meetings. We have sat down with the state land bank itself, and so you actually do have the authority to move and to make sure that you're equipping all of us in this room with what we need to do a better job and continue to work together to do that. So.
Mr. Chair,
Looks like an opportunity.
here we go, yeah. Just a couple questions. Doug, good to see you again. We've worked together for many years, over the years. But I read this, I did a little research on the Land Bank Act, and I guess my question is, are we looking, because I see our city manager back there, Dan, welcome, are we looking to use this as a tool to maybe acquire or clean up the paper tissue plant? Is that something that we're looking forward to? Because I hear blighted and abandoned properties. I don't know that it's abandoned, I believe it's blighted through the city. But is this, are we looking at a cooperative effort between the county, the city, the townships? Is that how it would work, Doug?
Well, before that, though, I would point out, because you're new to the board, this is a conversation that over a decade has been happening at the county level. We had many meetings with administration, so although and Doug will speak to that, could be an advantage to handling some of the properties we do have, this discussion has not been inspired by a single property. This is something that has been ongoing for quite some time. It just may be something that could come in handy.
So it could address that issue.
It certainly can address the issue. Depending on the length of time that it takes to form this regional footprint, I would hope that the city and the county would be able to expedite dealing with that issue much faster than instead of waiting for this to happen. And we have met with the State Land Bank and the partners in the room, and they are more than willing to be at the table to help foster the path forward to getting that cleaned up and in a position to be redeveloped.
And the last question I have for you, Doug, is when we're talking blighted and abandoned properties, are these just commercial or is it also private?
It can be commercial and private residential.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Sure.
While we're at it,
Sure.
Question.
We do have Dan Soblowski, the Cheboygan city manager, in the room, and I believe it's appropriate, sir, I'd like to ask him maybe to speak to what his feelings are here, because the city and there should be synergy between the city and the county, and if this is an opportunity, and I think bingo to you, Commissioner Claremont, clearly this may be an answer to the paper plan. And I'd be interested, Dan, would you be willing to speak at all or add a comment here?
yes, you would.
Good.
Commissioner, can I make a comment before Dan
Real
speaks?
quick, excuse us, Dan, just a second. Go ahead.
Just to help Dan along here. Cheboygan County is an ideal county to have a land bank. And we have a lot of dilapidated properties, especially in the city. And Dan, I apologize, I left you with so many dilapidated properties, but that's just the nature of what we have in our economic situation in Cheboygan County. So a land bank is an ideal tool to help us refurbish, redevelop many of these properties. Investors that are looking to build housing, redevelop blighted properties, have to have these kinds of tools to help them invest in a project in a rural Cheboygan County like this. They won't even consider looking at a property without having multiple tools to help them develop it, because they can't get a return on investment in North Michigan, in Cheboygan County. They might be able to do it in Emmett County. Emmett County has a land bank, so we can't compete with that. I mean, Emmett County has a land bank. They're looking for a dilapidated property in northern Michigan to develop housing. Well, Emmett County has more tools than we do. So where are they going to go? I just want to make that comment, because I know you're very knowledgeable about land banks.
For those of you who don't know, Tom's former city manager.
And I just, yeah.
First of all, Mr. Wallace, thank you for everything you've done for this community. I got a little side note, my son came home, my oldest son, and says, hey, I got the opportunity to meet Commissioner Wallace. I said, yeah. He goes, Dad, do you realize he has an 87-year-old girlfriend? And I said, yeah, he's robbing the cradle. So we laughed about that, but yeah, he enjoyed meeting you.
Touche,
So,
thanks, Dan.
I think you guys know, we've been pretty aggressive. City council has been great in backing myself and my staff to start to go after blighted properties in our community. Chris Bauer back there in the corner has been leading that effort for us. We have about 20 properties right now that the owners are deceased, heirs don't want the property, and they're gonna sit there, okay? And when they're sitting there, they're falling apart, they're getting in disrepair. We've had, the sheriff has been going into properties with us, and our police to get kids out of there, things like that. We need to do something, and this is a means to do that. It'll allow us to get those properties. We would be able to work with those heirs to get those properties. We'd be able to get funds through the state land bank in order to help clean those properties up and then put them back to use. And we do have, and I'll tell you about that in a little bit, a program that we've already talked to the state land bank and NEMCOG and NLEA and Sharon that we're in the works with, and I'll kind of give you a little detail on that. It's key that we get control of these properties, because we've done the first step, and you guys all know the city of Cheboygan, and Tom's alluded to that, has never been allowed to go after these properties. We've never had the resources, we've never had the staff. I know when you were mayor, Sangster, you wanted to do the same thing, but yet we didn't have the resources. We're at that point. There's only so much blight we can target, so many tickets we can give. Now we're at that point, what do we do next? So one opportunity we had, and I know Sharon made use of it with Tuscarora Township, there was a program on the state land bank said, hey, we'll give every county that has a land bank $250,000. If you don't have a land bank, then we'll give you $100,000. So Sharon and I got $100,000 that we pretty much split between the city and Tuscarora Township. Okay, we could have got $250,000. So there's one example where we missed out on $150,000. And you put that into terms, that's probably at least 15 to 20 houses we could have knocked out in the county. That's huge, all right? So then we have applied, and I think we're going to get a $100,000 grant from the state land bank. If we have a county land bank, and then ultimately a regional land bank, they're going to provide about $100,000 to kind of jumpstart a program to eliminate blight, not only in the city, but in the township areas, all right? So again, another $100,000 that could come in if you guys take some sort of action on this, and then we all work together with Doug and his agency to get that going. Last, again, it is a key tool, and I know you guys all talked about it, that in order to spur residential development, redevelopment, that's the key. Get rid of blight. Okay, what do we do with these properties? Okay, let's work with, we've already talked to Habitat, they're interested in working with us. Developers are interested in working with us. We actually have private homeowners that said, hey, my brother wants to build a house in Cheboygan, but needs to find a good spot, all right? So this all equates to, in the end, more property tax, reproductive use of all of our properties, and it moves us forward. This is innovative. It is being used in all the major cities in the United States. I did consulting work for land banks. I ran a land bank in East Cleveland, Cleveland area, Lorraine, Ohio, all Ohio, so don't hold that against me. But I have that experience. And yes, back to the thing, yes, this could help us with the paper plan. And I think you guys all know, prior to the issue with the lakes, the city did file a lawsuit against the paper plan owners for environmental conditions. And we're moving forward with that. And we're hoping that we can at least get them to start to clean that up, because it is unacceptable. That property owner has not done anything for this community. Barely paid taxes, and I think the bank paid them. in the last round on the paper plan. It looks like hell, it's ruining our city and it's ruining our county, so we can use all the help we can get, and everybody's been fantastic, from Sharon, NLEA, NEMCOG, Jeff, so please help us with this. Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. Carry on. Doug, carry on.
So, at some point, if you can let your administrator know what direction that you would like to go with this. Our hope is to try and figure out a way that this would be self-sustaining. Until we get into it and really build the regional model, we don't know that for sure today, but our intent going into this is it would be no additional cost to the counties, and we would hope that it would be self-sustaining. In order to do that, we may have to tie this into brownfield and TIF capture. Again, we're looking at different models that are out there around the country, and we have a consultant that we're working with to bring different models. As we develop the core regional group, we would then have a discussion on potential different models and what we would feel best would work for our region. So if Cheboygan County would like to be on board and build this together with the other counties that would like to build it, then you have a decision on what that model looks like.
Dan, excuse me. Thank you.
Just one thing, I wanna let you know that the city council supports this 100% if you guys move forward. Also, we're willing to provide staff and resources to, whether it be the county or the regional land bank, to make this happen.
Thank you. Any input?
Do you have any final comments?
No, if you got questions for me.
We certainly appreciate you all being here to talk about this. It fills a lot of loopholes for us.
I have a question, if I may, Mr. Chairman.
Please.
Are you, from your way of looking at this, is the most practical approach to start as a regional group, or for Cheboygan County to start on their own and then encourage our neighbors to join us?
So each county would still, each county would have to form their own land bank.
Okay. And then we would
And then-
each take our land bank and create a regional entity to share expenses and offset expenses?
Correct. The original piece of it that would benefit the counties would be to have the staff that does this every day. They would be professionals in that field, and they would represent every county that is a part of it. So again, it takes that additional work off of your treasurer's office.
Is my research correct, sir, that it would be very difficult for the city of Cheboygan as a municipality to start their own land bank? That in fact it's easier for counties to do this as opposed to a municipal, and therefore we might be able to allow the city of Cheboygan, if we were to adopt this ourselves, to be part of a land bank? Is that correct?
So my understanding is the law does not allow the city because of the population.
Okay, so
They have their own
my
land bank.
understanding was correct. So,
They have at least 50,000.
So if we were to do this and establish a county land bank, again, that would fall back to the synergy I talked about that I wish I could see between the city and the county, because we would enable them. I think they clearly need a land bank, perhaps more than we do as a county. And I know you could argue probably the other side of that, but at the moment with the paper plant and such, and the issue particularly with the hydro unit associated with that plant and that whole structure, if you will, I think it's critical that we move forward exactly with that. And if the city can't do that on their own, I think we would be gracious and accept their help and their offer to offset some of our costs. I think that's a win-win for the city and the county as a whole.
Correct. And I agree with that, but also on that though, I want to build on the fact that expectations of this regional approach would be, we would be proactive. In other words, we would be working with all the townships, the cities, the villages, to identify those properties that need to be looked at, redeveloped, blight issues, contamination issues, if we go into the brownfield and those type of things. Again, depends on how it gets built. So that will be a decision on the core partners at the beginning.
You mentioned earlier, sir, the expense and the overhead, if you will, of administrating a county land bank. Can you give us an idea what kind of dollars you're talking about there? You made it sound like it's a bit of work, and the city's graciously said they might offset some of that cost. Do you have any idea what it really would take? How great of a burden would this put on our treasurer's office?
I'll let Jennifer speak to.
Thank you.
So, the way the law is written, the treasurer has to be on the land bank board.
Okay.
Beyond that, it's whatever they want to be involved, what their role is, as far as what they'd like to be involved with. They don't have to be the chair. Historically, that's how land banks have been set up, that the county treasurer was the chair. But you guys can do it however you want, as long as the treasurer's on the board and can have those meetings. Beyond that, the staff time, the idea with NEMCOG would be that the staff time would be done at their office so that it's less burdensome, so that the treasurer is only there for the meetings and making of the decisions, and then beyond that, the staff could go forth, and conquer, for lack of a better term. The idea behind land banking was to make government more nimble, more savvy, instead of a board approving every bill, every contract, every signature, everything. The board would say, we want this project done, or these properties dealt with, go forth, and the staff would have the capacity and the authority to move on and get those things done without having to have a meeting before they acquire a property, or a meeting before they dispose of it, or sign a contract or do an RFP or whatever. So the idea would be to build your bylaws with that land bank around that type of flexibility, and then tell the staff what you want and let them go get the job done.
One final question. I heard a comment that the city can't do it because of population, is that correct?
Yeah, I think, don't quote me if I'm wrong, but I think it's 50,000. If your city has at least 50,000 and your county doesn't have a land bank, then you can form a city land bank, which is how like Detroit has a land bank.
So the county, are there any population requirements
No,
for us?
a county can have a land bank, period.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sharon, you have something?
Well, I was just gonna see if there were any other questions, and if not, I would just have a closing remark.
I just have a comment. I don't know of any county in the state of Michigan where the benefits greatly outweigh the cost of managing a land bank. To my knowledge, a land bank has never failed in any county because of cost. So I think the costs themselves, they're somewhat minimal, especially if NEMCOG's gonna step up and help us with, and NLEA. But just one project will greatly be a bigger benefit than the cost of the project. So it's a great tool, and again, especially in Cheboygan County, we have a lot of buildings, and Commissioner Warfield mentioned that the city's gonna probably benefit more so than anybody, but that's okay. They're in Cheboygan County. We're gonna tax those properties.
So there's a lot of blighted properties throughout the county.
Sure.
So it's multiple.
Yep.
What do you mean?
So, I just wanna make the point that the cost to manage this project is not that significant, for the benefit we're gonna get out of it.
We're at a unique time in Cheboygan history, Cheboygan County, city, whatever you want to call it, township history. This is the first time, you all may be present at the conception of a system that'll bring some future to Cheboygan County. So,
And I guess I'd just like to his point about the cost and the value, I think will outweigh that. I do like to go with caution as we move forward on projects.
Sure.
But the comfort level with the backup at this, to at least get this off the ground, I feel very comfortable. We're already, between Peyton and all these people here are at our disposal, which we already pay for. And with the city help, I just think it's important we take action if so.
it's that moment in time.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a motion, if it's suitable, that we form a Cheboygan County Land Bank.
And I would support that motion, sir.
Is that?
We have
is
a
that-
motion
are you
and
comfortable
support.
with that,
Madam
Mr.
Clerk,
Chair?
are you ready?
Yep, okay, thank you.
Commissioner Newman,
Yes.
Commissioner Eustace,
Yes.
Commissioner Claremont,
Yes.
Commissioner Wallace,
You bet.
Commissioner Warfield,
Certainly.
Commissioner Sangster.
Yes.
My remarks
Sharon,
should move to,
please.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thanks for all your hard work.
Sharon, did you want to make comment?
I just switched to thank you, that was, yeah. I was gonna try to sell it even more than necessarily, so, thank you very much.
Thank you all, that's an addition to the agenda for sure. Moving on,
And with that in
and thank
mind,
you all for coming, really appreciate it.
you want to do, Mr. Chair, I would make, as we move on to business, I'd make a motion to adopt, or to appoint Don Condon to the Master Plan Committee.
Okay, thank you.
I'm just trying to help you move things along.
That's Dawn Compton.
To the master plan, I would like to make that motion to appoint her. to
Okay,
that.
we were gonna handle that down under committee reports and.
I thought I had it written down under 12.
That's correct.
Oh,
We're
I'm
not there
sorry.
yet.
Yeah, I ripped that and wrote it down there. Sorry
But
about
we're
that.
there, so why don't we go ahead and transact that piece of business?
I
think we can
apologize,
find
Mr.
support
Chairman.
somewhere at the
I'll,
table.
I'll support that motion.
Sorry about that.
Moved and supported to appoint Don Compton to the Master Plan Committee. Please.
Commissioner Wallace,
Yes.
Commissioner Warfield,
Yes.
Commissioner Sangster,
Yes.
Commissioner Newman,
Yes.
Commissioner Eustace.
Yes.
Commissioner Claremont.
Yes.
Okay, that matter has been handled.
I apologize, Mr. Chairman, I had my hand raised. I thought it was.
You want to take a 10-minute break
Could be, sir.
before we get into this? Thank you. We're on a 10-minute break. Thank you all for coming. Really appreciate it. Especially those people that have to work together.